What is going on, Babylonians? It's me, Songs of Rays, back with another Outriders video to bring to you, and today we're actually going to be covering over the TRANSMOG system, and obviously this was a brand new feature that was included in the New Horizon update, but it didn't actually record everything that you've seen throughout the whole of the game. Now obviously there were a few people that, even though they've put so many hours into this game, there's a lot of stuff that they've obviously picked up, but they've obviously trashed along the way because everyone wanted to be able to keep legendaries in their stash, me included. But that doesn't mean that that's the end of the world. There are a couple of easy ways to be able to go back through and being able to grab all the other stuff as well, because there are some really nice sets when it comes to grey, green, blue and purple sets as well. I'm looking at you, Moo Metal. But these are going to be a couple of tips, a couple of farming strategies, all that kind of good stuff to be able to make sure that you're able to fit in and fill up your transmog library. There are a couple of tips because you can't grab everything with a level 30 character, so it's not like you can just go back and be able to try and collect everything like that. They are kind of level locked, and I will be showing pointing you back to a Reddit post of someone that did a lot of work back when the game first launched, and it's really important, but I will be referencing that as we go through. But as always, make sure you drop a like and a subscribe, and let's get into the video. So before we get started, it's important to note that a lot of the findings that came from this, the methods themselves came from myself, but when it comes to the actual findings as to knowing when you can get certain items, what items have been locked behind level caps, because that's an important thing to be able to know, there is a really helpful couple of Reddit threads, all made by the same user called I Helped. And 7 months ago they took it upon themselves to be able to go through the game to be able to find out all the items that you can actually go and achieve in this game, and they posted themselves some kind of like levels, and it's important to be able to take these. These ones here aren't like the full ones to be able to be aware of. There is a second thread that actually does address, so that if you're looking for Moo Metal, for example, there is a second thread called Fashion Riders 2, and we will be referencing those with pictures, but all the credit in terms of finding out the items and the levels and all that goes straight to I Helped. So make sure you go over to the Reddit, just show a little bit of love over there, and let's get into the methods that I've managed to find for you. Alright, so with that out of the way, the first method is going to feel right at home for anyone that has played the demo, was playing just before any of the patches came in for that as well, which was the legendary farming for the chests. Now, there are 4 chests to be able to farm. I believe there used to be a 5th one, but it looks like the door has now been locked, so therefore it is down to 4. But these are a great way to be able to grab yourself some nice greens, some blues, and some purples. Depending on, obviously, the level you are, you may even be able to get greys, and it's important to know that you better off starting a new characters. Now, like I mentioned in the bit before, if you have a level 30 character, you're only able to grab so much of the transmog library. You do need another character that's between certain levels to be able to grab the rest. So, for example, I'm after Moo Metal. I've got 2 out of the 5 that I actually need to be able to complete the full set, but I know that if I go past level 19, that I can't get that anymore. So, level 20 to level 30. It's physically impossible for me to be able to get Moo Metal according to the research that iFix managed to find. So to be able to do this, all you need to do is go to your main menu, select a story point, set yourself to Rift Town, then go to Confront the Altered at the Tower, click on that, click on yes for obviously we want to accept and restart our story progress from here, and this spawns us at the Lightning Tower just before we face the boss that's there. And all you need to do is to start this off is run forward. You find a chest to the right hand side, grab that one first. Then come back, double back on yourself, and start making your way down the hill. Just on the right hand side from where you said, well, it would have been left when you first spawned, but as you come back out, it's on the right. Head over to the chest that's on the mound that's over there. Grab that chest, head down the hill, make another right hand turn, follow the water all the way around, open that chest as well, and then follow that all the way around. It's a bit of a run to be able to get to the next chest, but it is still worth it to be able to go grab one, and then find it, move a little bit past the captain that you fight over there, and then grab the chest. And then all you need to do after you've grabbed these, you can dismantle, or you can sell, or you can do whatever you want with these, but then you just back out, repeat the process, get yourself to the main menu, and just restart the mode. Make sure you do restart the story progress by clicking on the actual story, because if you do just click continue game, it will actually just put you straight back where you were in the exact same game, and all those chests will now be open. So make sure you do reset your story progress, but this was a great way to be able to obtain the greens and the blues, and very rarely the purples. So if you're looking for lower rarities, I think this is a great method, but we do have a couple of methods that should be able to help out a little bit more when it comes to like the more higher rarities. So the next method to be able to get those higher rarities, so these is pretty much aimed at purples when it comes down to it, is to be able to fight the Crystalloid. So to be able to do this, all you need to do is head yourself over to the select story point, get yourself over to the Forest Enclave, which is a little bit further on, than obviously our first method, and then click the top option, which is track down the Crystalloids. Now what this does is it puts you straight into a starting area, and it allows you to be able to do whatever you want to do there, and it won't start the boss fight until you interact with the ledge. As soon as you interact with the ledge, it will put you straight into the boss fight. So this is a 2-stage boss fight as well. So this is if you are trying to aim for that lower end kind of gear, so or anything that's between level 0 to 19. You're better off bringing a teammate along, and preferably one that's max level, because this boss fight can be a pain if you're trying to do it by yourself, and it's definitely not a quick method in that kind of sense. And so Danwer's brought in his Trickster, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend in this kind of gameplay. We only found out because of this. I was expecting the boss to be underleveled, but it seems that that's not the case. It seems to actually put themselves up to level 30 to match what the host's level actually was in this case. So because the Crystalloid fights at distance in the first sector, you'd actually preferably would like a Technomancer in this case, and that's purely something we've just found out from this this brief testing. In terms of the second sector, it's definitely a lot closer. It's definitely a lot closer up, and the Trickster can actually make very quick work of the second side of this. So, but either way, as long as you've got a teammate that's max level, that's willing to be able to carry you a few times in this, you can actually get the purples that this drops. Now, I believe I got 2 purples every single run, which obviously is pretty much guaranteed, and that's spot on. That's exactly what we want. And if this is also the first time you've actually fought the boss, you do get a guaranteed legendary as well on top of that, just to be able to make it a little bit more sweeter. But yeah, this is the best way I feel to be able to grab things like Moo Metal, which obviously is quite sought after and is great in the community, because obviously you are hitting those purples consistently, whereas with the chest it is pure RNG. But the only downside to this method is that you will be gaining XP, so this can only be farmed so many times before you have to start a new character if you are trying to aim for any of those kind of purples that are between level 1 to 19. And then obviously anything that's after that, you will then start getting into the territory that your level 30 characters already can do. The other thing to note as well is best to keep the world tier down as low as possible. Now, we had it as world tier 3 on this because I wanted to be able to keep the XP down, but I also wanted to test on the if there was any other drops that actually came out, if I needed to factor in the world tier and the global drop chance as well for higher rarities, and it seems that that's not the case. So you can actually drop this down to world tier 1, I believe, and I think you will still get two purples, but we got 2 purples on world tier 3, so anywhere between there will be absolutely fine. And obviously that will affect the amount of XP you're gaining, so technically world tier 1 would be the best way to be able to go for this. And then the last method that we've got for being able to farm certain like blues and epics especially is to be able to get yourself over to Trenchtown. And Trenchtown has 3 vendors that we can actually go and have a look at to be able to see what they're currently using. And this is for guns as well as for armor. So get yourself over to Trenchtown, make sure you've unlocked that part of the story. If you haven't, then what you can do is get someone to be able to take you to, similar to like the forest, you're able to get someone to be able to take you over to there at that point in the like in the story, or let them travel over there. So first off, we've got Rough Pavlo. And obviously you can skip through everything, and then he presents to you all these armors, so you can have a look through, see if there's anything that you fancy. Now obviously you do need scrap to be able to do this, so it's best to be able to like go farm some chests, get yourself a little bit of money, and then you can go around and do all this. So I'm not going to buy anything because I'm pretty sure I have all of this. So if you then leave Rough Pavlo, obviously you can head over to Bailey, and then you can check out her inventory as well. And obviously this covers guns as well as kind of like armor. I don't think I have that, so I'm probably going to buy that. And I have no idea if I've got that, so I'm going to buy that as well. So there we go. And then when you leave, it then should come up in the bottom right. Yep, so it turns out I didn't have those, so now I've got some visual customizations available to me. And then the last one you can really use would be Eric over here. Now Eric pretty much specializes in high tier stuff. but it's just purely weapons. So just have a look around, see if there's anything that really takes your fancy, but there's nothing for me, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to remember if there's if the barkeep sells anything here. Hold on, bear with me a second. So we can have a look at Noah. Oh, Noah also has a very limited kind of like shop, but you can grab yourself a few here. So basically, get yourself here, have a look around the 4 shops that are actually in, not 3, and yeah, see if there's any of those skins that you fancy, and just pay attention to the timer that's over here, because obviously that's when the shops will restock themselves, and then get yourself back over here and start farming a little bit more. Now, obviously, as your scrap starts disappearing, you can, after you buy things, you can then just turn around and just sell them, just to be able to get a little bit back, so your scrap actually goes a little bit further. And also remember that obviously you can sell other kind of materials that you have for scrap as well, so things like drop pod resources with Tiago, and then you can just keep farming this over and over again. So maybe that's actually the best way to be able to get yourself some scrap, to be able to do this method specifically, and that's to get in with a friend, let them do it like anywhere between a CT12 to a CT15, get yourself some drop pod resources, sell the drop pod resources, get your scrap back up to full, and then go around being able to buy all the skins that you could possibly ever want. We have it. That's my perfect way to be able to farm. Obviously you can choose your own method as well, but these are the ones that I would suggest to you, to be able to go out there, to be able to go fill out your library. I will leave up the screenshots of all the findings on that Fashion Riders Reddit right now. So if there's any particular items that you're looking to be able to grab, make sure you pay attention to the screenshots right now. And I will also leave links to both of the Reddit posts in the description down below, as I've already mentioned. So feel free to go over there, check it out, and let them know that Babylon sent you over there, and that thank you so much for all the information and all the hard work that they've dedicated to being able to find this. I hope that you found this interesting. I hope this actually does help you out with being able to fill out your Transmog library. If it did, make sure you drop a like and a subscribe. It really does mean the world to us. Thank you so much to the Babylonian family as always, and if you want to join and get your name at the end of every single one of our videos, make sure that you click that join button that's found right next to the subscribe button. It really is as little as 99p a month. It really does help out the channel, and every single bit of money goes straight back into the channel to be able to help us out. That just leaves me to say, so thank you very much. As always, keep yourself safe, keep yourself well, and I'll see you all on that next video.